Those of you who consistently watch my film reviews will know that I usually start these things off with a couple of snippets, like a trailer from the film, with an appropriate soundtrack to give you some idea of what it's like. This film doesn't fucking deserve one. Not only because it's without a doubt the worst film I've ever seen, and I'm not engaging in hyperbole there, it is the worst film I have ever seen, subjectively speaking anyway. The experience of it was painful for me. It was intellectually painful, and I consider it, the whole thing, the whole fucking 3 hours of it, an insult to my arse that I had to sit there growing carbuncles whilst I was subjected to what I can only describe as the cinematic equivalent of bovine diarrhea. It was like being deluged in it. Having your mouth and your eyes, in fact having every orifice clamped open, and having raw feces channeled into you. It was like having my skull opened and having leprous chimpanzees eat my brains, vomit them back up into my brain pan, seal it up and send me off again into functioning society. It had that feeling about it. It's an appalling film, and I'm very happy to say I didn't go and see it off my own back. I had to go and see it as a matter of work. Very, very pleased about that, because it means I didn't pay to get in. If I did, I'd have been getting my money back, I can tell you. It was painful. I didn't expect great things from it. I mean, it's a Roland Emmerich film, Mr. Independence Day, and Roland Emmerich is a shite director. But it surpassed my expectations. It surpassed them with flying colours, because it was exponentially more awful than I expected it to be. And I'm not even going to bother going into the plot. If you've ever seen any disaster movie ever, you've heard it. You've seen it. It's like the film has the feeling of a really bad B movie. Sometimes B movies can be great. They can be good because they're so bad. Pardon me. They can just be campy fun. They can have kitsch value. This film doesn't. It doesn't have kitsch value because it takes itself so fucking seriously. It really believes it's saying something of import, that it's showing you something you've never seen before. And it doesn't. You've seen it all before a million fucking times. And a million fucking times from Roland fucking Emmerich. It's like Roland Emmerich's worst hits haphazardly stitched together into a 3-hour collage of explosions and seemingly conscious geological disasters that seem to be able to chase people. It's quite incredible. I'm not kidding. There are points in the movie where the principal characters, whom by the way seem to be immortal and immune to harm, know exactly which way to run away from the geological disasters, despite there being no sign of which way they're coming from, and that the geological disasters obligingly, rather than sort of coming from all directions as they obviously would, follow them in a particular line. It's really quite strange. And what are these actors doing in this film? What is John Cusack doing in this film? John Cusack has done some fairly good roles. He's a credible actor. He's not bad at all in most of the roles he takes. What the fuck is he doing in this turgid piece of shite? I can only imagine that it was the dollar signs. I can only imagine that. It's the only reason any actor of any caliber would take a role in something like this. Because if I were an actor and I was handed this script, I would assume someone was taking the piss. And you get the caliber of this script right from the very beginning, about 12 minutes in, when you have random geologist A looking at a screen of wibbly-wobbly data and saying, "May God help us all." I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. That's the caliber of this script. And it doesn't get much better from there. Every fucking cliche. You know how in the sort of mid to late 90s there was that spate of disaster films? You had Independence Day, Twister, Dante's Peak, Volcano, and they're all fucking awful. Every single one of them is a shite film. It's like every bad cliche from them stitched together, so you know what's going to happen. You know the character arcs of every single one, and there are points where you think, oh, maybe he's going to do something deviant, maybe he's going to do something subversive, maybe he's going to step outside the stereotype. And he doesn't. He does precisely what you expect of these films. That's why it is 3 hours of turgid nothing. You've already seen this film. You've seen it 1,000 times before. It's a waste of 3 hours. It's a waste of whatever you're going to pay to go and see it. The only reason I would advise going to see this film is just so you can see how bad mainstream cinema can be. That's the only reason I would advise anyone to go and see this film. And even then, I would advise you to be fucking prepared. I would advise you to have some good cinema waiting on DVD when you get home on standby, because you are going to need it. Medically, you're going to need it after seeing this piece of crap. And what else really got me about it is how unintentionally hilarious it is. It makes people laugh. The whole cinema was laughing at points where the director clearly didn't intend them to. They were laughing at how risible the whole thing was. It borders on the racist at times. It's sexist as fucking hell. The characters are cartoons. In fact, I have seen Nickelodeon cartoons. Avatar, The Legend of Aang, actually has more well-realised, deeper characters than appear in this piece of shite. Fucking Rugrats has deeper characters than that appear in this piece of shite. And I apologise for the language I'm using in this rant, by the way. But it doesn't deserve anything better. It does not deserve eloquence. It does not deserve equanimity. It's a fucking bastard cunting piece of shit. It is an awful, awful film. It's insulting. It's an insulting piece of crap. And how anyone thought they could get away with it. I mean, that's the fucking thing. They will get away with it because it's going to make millions. I'm sure it's already made fucking millions. And it's disheartening. It's really disheartening. You'd think, watching it, that films like No Country for Old Men, like Up, which is gorgeous. I saw Up. Fortunately, I was very fortunate to see Up about a week later, and that restored my faith in mainstream cinema, because Up is elegant and musical and pitch perfect. Every element of Up is gorgeous, and I'll be doing a proper review of that. And it'll be the antithesis of this one. But 2012, it has the singular honour of epitomising everything that is derivative and derogatory about modern cinema. It's a hideous spectacle.